Thanks once again for dropping by the channel. If you like the content, if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed it, if you felt it was useful. Now let's get into this. So, actually before I get into this, as you may know, to change the scenery, I've swapped the camera from over there on my couch to here, just to see what it looks like, just to see if it's any better, because best believe it, it's quite a cramped space over there when I'm recording, and on this chair, maybe it'll look a bit better. Alright, but we're just trying on this. Let's see how this gets on. Now let's really get into this. So, Billy Joe Saunders. Now, I've been doing a lot of talk about Billy Joe Saunders lately, just purely because there's been a lot to talk about, between who he could potentially fight, between him not wanting to fight Canelo in September, etc, etc. Well, at this stage now, the September date for Canelo seems pretty much dead in the water. I mean, what's the date now? Is it the 10th? I think it's the 10th of August, at the time we're recording anyway. So you're talking about a month removed from when potentially Canelo was set to fight. He's not fighting September 12th. No, sir. I'd be amazed if he fought September 12th, but if he did fight September 12th, it would literally be against the Jay Quigley. It wouldn't be against anyone good, because it's just, right now it's too short notice. I think that the crowds are an issue. I think the money might be an issue. So in terms of Canelo fighting in September, I think that's gone. Okay, I think that's just dead in the water. In terms of Canelo in December, I think he's fought in December before. That could be potential. We could see that. You would expect crowds to be back by then. If not in their full capacity, at least in a decent capacity. And of course, if we're talking about Canelo fighting in America, he's fought in New York, he's fought in Las Vegas, he's fought in Texas. I'm sure one of those states, if not all of them, would have different restrictions in place with regards crowd capacities, etc, etc. So you never know come what December what might happen. Well, Billy Joe Saunders has said now that if Canelo wants to fight a real super middleweight world champion in December, that he'd be ready, and he's so confident that he would beat Canelo. He said, if I don't beat him, don't pay me. Okay, now this is the Billy Joe who said that 8 weeks wasn't enough time to prepare, and that the money wasn't right the first time. So he's done a 1-8 fighters say that as well all the time. Like, I'm so confident I'd win, I give me purse. Obviously he's not going to give his purse, but in terms of December for Billy Joe, he wants that fight now, because obviously it's December. It's still a good bit away, still 4 months away, plenty of time to train. So obviously he wants that crack at Canelo. He's trying to get that last bite of the goose. He wants that Canelo payday. He wants that Canelo fight. Billy Joe versus Canelo is a decent fight, if it happens. Would I like to see it? Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it, truth be told. I think Canelo would win. I've always made him favourite ever since this fight was being talked about for pre-lockdown anyway. I said Canelo will win. I think he'll stop Billy Joe. But it's a competitive fight. I mean, don't get me wrong. Billy Joe certainly has enough tools to bother Canelo. But I think that Canelo at this stage now is in his absolute prime. I think Billy Joe, he needs to be sufficiently motivated. But I think even now, at this stage, and like, Billy Joe has not had a necessarily long or difficult career, but the fire just doesn't seem to be there anymore. Unless it's a big fight and then there's a bit more fire. But even then, it's like after he beat Lemieux, he could have carried on. He could have built from that, but he didn't. And ever since then, it's just been kind of steadily, when I say downhill, I don't mean in terms of skill or in terms of his ability. I mean in terms of just the sheer hunger for boxing. It just seems like it hit its peak against Lemieux, and it's just fizzled out slowly for Billy Joe. And yeah, if he fights Canelo, I think he'll definitely try and win. But I don't know. A part of me just doesn't know if the hunger's there for Billy Joe anymore. A part of me is wondering, is this Billy Joe's, right, we'll try and win, but if we lose, we get our payday, and then we can go on those lads' holidays. We can go here, there, everywhere. Because I think that's the way it is at this stage. Because with Billy Joe, it's just hard to know. Like, I mean, he said something in an interview with Seconds Out a few weeks ago about fighting in November. But you know, who knows if that'll happen or not. But I know y'all said at one stage the Canelo fight seemed dead in the water. At the end of the day, Canelo is the A side where everybody fights. So with Canelo, he's going to be, you know, the one in charge of the negotiations. Whatever he's offering, I mean, especially now with the way boxing is and the way, you know, everything is it really worth turning it down? You know, I don't know. What happened to Callum Smith is the question I have, because that was a fight that was being talked about. You know, Callum Smith versus Canelo for September. That's seemingly gone now. Would Canelo go for Smith in December? I'm amazed Smith is still at super middleweight, truth be told, because I that's a big boy. He's a flipping cruiserweight. I think the longer this lockdown goes and the longer they're out of the ring, I think the harder it's going to be for Callum Smith to actually stay at 168 pounds, because I thought he needed to move up to light heavyweight 4 or 5 years ago, and the fact he's still at 168 is quite incredible. Whereas Billy Joe, he's really a 160 pounder, so it's not as, you know, difficult, I'm sure, for him. But yeah, it's an interesting one. So Billy Joe saying that he's still up for the Canelo fight and that he would be willing to fight Canelo in December. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that will happen? And if you do, who do you think will win? Let me know your thoughts. Leave it on in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the new kind of look, quote unquote. I have a plaque coming. Well, I ordered it like 3 weeks ago, and it's like a G-Man. It's going to have G-Man, you know, let's get into this. But for the love of God, people, I have no idea where I'm going to put it, because this chair ain't big enough. I've got no like table around me. So answers on a postcard where I'm going to put the plaque, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, of course, if you are new. And as always, people, I will talk to you.